In this video, you'll learn how to identify and memorize your marked courses on your hammered dulcimer. Your marked courses are your anchors, and they show you very easily where each key is laid out. They show you very easily where the 1, 4, and 5 chords are in each key. They help you when you're playing to be able to visually find a note and track it very easily without having to think about it quite as hard. So let's start. Larger instruments such as this one have 5 marked courses and sometimes more, sometimes 6, maybe even 7 per bridge, my bass bridge and my treble bridge. The marked courses are the contrasting colored bridge caps every 4th cap. So on mine, my marked courses are white with black in between. Yours may be the opposite. You may have black bridge caps with white in between. It just really depends on what your builder did. So we're going to start with this marked course down at the bottom in the bottom left-hand treble bridge. On the larger instruments, I'll discuss the larger instruments first. It starts with an E. And I have a silly sentence that will help you remember the order of your marked courses. And the sentence is, eventually, all dulcimers get cold feet, burr flat. Eventually, all dulcimers get cold feet, burr flat. The larger instrument starts with the E, and the smaller instruments with only 4 marked courses start with the A, the all dulcimers. All right. So again, going back to the larger instruments, we start on our E. We can look across the bottom from left to right. We have the first 3 words in the sentence. Eventually, all dulcimers. Eventually, all dulcimers. If you have a slightly smaller instrument, yours will be all dulcimers get. So again, your dulcimer starts there. So you have 4 marked courses if you have a smaller instrument, like a 12-11. So yours would start with the all dulcimers get. So from there, we can remember that what our bottom notes are. So for example, from there, I could go up. Eventually, all dulcimers get cold. And you notice I'm only playing the marked courses. Don't get confused. I'm not playing straight up my bridge every note, only the marked courses. Let me do that again. E, eventually, all, A, D, dulcimers, G, get, C, cold. Now, if you remember, eventually all, if you remember that this is all, we can now go up our bridge. All dulcimers get cold feet. Let me do that again. All dulcimers get cold feet. And then again, eventually all dulcimers. We have the low D over here on the bass bridge. Dulcimers get cold feet, burr flat, B flat. Do that again. Dulcimers get cold feet, burr flat. Now the fastest way to learn this is to say it out loud every time. If you're just playing them, you're probably just sort of moving your hands around. You've got to say them out loud. Now again, those smaller dulcimers, you would start here on your all dulcimers get. So you would have all dulcimers get cold. All dulcimers. Dulcimers get cold feet. And all dulcimers get cold feet, burr flat. So take a second and practice that. Once you are able to easily say your marked courses going up each bridge, try them in octaves. Our instruments are set up with these really lovely diagonals up and down our instrument, which makes it much easier to keep track of things. But the beginning of the sentence, eventually all, makes a corner. I like to call it a corner. Eventually, the first word in the sentence, the E, that only has one marked course. We have E's all over our instruments. We probably have more E's than any other note, but we only have one marked E. So the beginning of the sentence, the eventually, there's only one marked E. And the very end of the sentence, in the opposite corner, the B flat, again, there's only one marked B flat. On most dulcimers, if you have a dulcimer larger than this one, you will have another marked B flat. But for most of us, the beginning of the sentence, eventually, E, has one marked E, and the end of the sentence, B flat, the burr flat, has one marked burr flat. Now, both of those make what I call a corner, because the first two words, eventually, then I take my hammer straight across the bridge, and I play all in both hands. Eventually, all and all. So if I combine those two, it makes a right angle, and that's what I'm calling the corner. So the E is at the juncture of the corner, eventually, and then the two closest marked courses to the E are the A's. Look again. Here's my E in the very corner where the hammers meet, and then when those go up to the very closest marked courses, just across the bridge, and then up to the next marked courses, those are both A's. The same thing happens in the other corner with that B flat we were talking about. I'm going to put my hammers there. That is the juncture of the corner. And again, from that B flat, when we follow it out to the closest marked courses, we are on F's, feet, burr flat. So those are those F's. So we have one B flat and we have two F's. Okay? So we have one E and two A's. We have one B flat and two F's. So memorize those corners first. Now, if you have the smaller dulcimer, you don't have the E. Yours starts on A, all dulcimers. So your A is the juncture of that corner. Take a look at that. So with the smaller dulcimer, with the 11-12, the A is the juncture of the corner. So the first word in your sentence is all dulcimers. So those are going to be your two corner notes, A and D. So we have our A and our D, and you have the same as the other ones with the B flat and the F's. So take a moment and again, sing this out loud, practice for the larger dulcimers, E, A, E, F, B flat, F. Make sure to say B flat, it's not a B, right? A B is this note, and this is a B flat, so completely different note. So be very specific in your speech. Smaller dulcimers, you will practice A, D, D, A, D, D, A, and again, the F, B flat. So take a few minutes and practice that. Now, once you have the corners down, you have what I call the threes. So on the larger dulcimer, we have three threes. We have three Ds, three Gs, and three Cs. So let me show you how that works. So once we play our E, and then we play our two A's, I'm going to keep my hands in this exact position and drift to the right. Now when I drift to the right, let me do that again. Here's my hands on the A's. My left hand, and I keep my hands in this exact position. I don't move them up, I don't straighten them, I don't move them down. So my left hand just comes straight across the bridge and plays the D. My right hand goes to the bass bridge, that's the nearest marked course. Now it's on a D as well, so we have D, D. So we have eventually, all, dulcimers. Now from there to get, remember I said this was a 3, so we only have our hands on 2 notes. So what we'll do is we'll put our right hand where our left hand is, and our left hand goes up diagonally. Again, do you notice they're in the same exact position? Now we're on D's again. So here's our beautiful, I say beautiful because it's so convenient. It's so nice once you see it. This really straight and lovely diagonal are 3 Ds. Low D on the bass, this D on the right side treble, the D on the left side treble. If you get confused, you can do eventually all dulcimers, and dulcimers. You can find it that way. But again, let's start on our E, then our A. We leave our hands in this exact position. We don't allow ourselves to move them. It's as if they are glued in this position. We shift our body, which shifts our arms, and now we're on the next marked courses, the 3s. So we're on the 3 Ds. Here's the bottom 2, and then I move my right hand. The middle one gets played again, where the left hand goes up the octave, D. So let's just practice doing those Ds a few times. And you really want to make sure you're not swimming. And by that, what I mean is someone who's swimming is going like that with their hands, right? So if you're swimming, after you strike, you're kind of pulling back towards you like this. And you notice when I do that, I am no longer over my desired notes. I've pulled away. So get used to leaving your hand. We don't leave the hammer on the string, right? We don't ever buzz it on the string like that, but we just leave it over the string. So again, E, A, keep them in that position, move it to the bass bridge, D, D. Practice that for a few minutes, put it on pause. Now, those of you with smaller dulcimers, remember, you don't have that E, so you start on your A. Remember, we talked about your corner starts on the A. So you only have 2 sets of 3s. You have your 3 Gs and your 3 Cs because you don't have this lower D. So let's start with the smaller dulcimers. I start with my right hand on the A, then move it straight across the bridge to the D. Now both hands are playing Ds at the exact same time, D and D. So there's the corner that we talked about earlier. A, D. Now is what your turn to drift. So you're going to drift over with your right hand. Right hand goes to the bass bridge. Left hand just crosses the treble bridge. Now you're on your Gs. G, and then the left hand goes up to a diagonal. Don't let it come straight across. It's a different note. Up to the diagonal. So again, here's the diagonal. We're playing all 3 Gs. Bass G, right side treble G, left side treble G. So see that really clear diagonal there. So again, smaller dulcimers, A, D, G, G. Do that several times to get used to playing that diagonal. And again, if you allow yourself to swim, look what happens. Suddenly, now I have to go searching for all of the notes rather than just being able to put my right hand where my left hand is. Left hand continues up that diagonal. All right, so for the larger dulcimers, you could now have gone to your Gs. So watch, we have E, A, that's where the smaller dulcimers start, D, then again we drift over to the Gs, G, then we drift over to the Cs, middle C on the bass bridge. So those are our 3s, right? 3 Ds, 3 Gs, and 3 Cs. So if you keep it organized like this, it's going to make more sense in your brain. Then we're back in the corner because we've used all the marked courses on the left side of the bridge. All we have left are our 2 Fs. Remember this corner? Everybody has this exact corner. The 2 Fs and the 1 B flat. So let's practice that. We have E, A, D, drift to the right, G, drift to the right, C, drift to the right. Now we're back in the what? We're back in the corner with our 2 Fs leading to our 1 B flat. So larger dulcimers can pause for a minute. I'm going to go over the smaller dulcimers starting on the A, our single A. That's where our corner starts on the smaller dulcimers. We have our A and then our 2 Ds, Now we move out of the corner by drifting to the right for those G's. And right hand goes where left hand is. Left hand continues up to the G. So we have all three G's there. If you land at the top and drift to the right, now we're on our three C's. Now we drift to the right again. We're back into the corner. Here's our two F's and our one B flat. All right, let's do it one more time. Smaller instruments, you might want to start when we get to our A's. All right, here we go. So larger instruments, E. Say it out loud with me. E, A, drift to the right, D. Drift to the right, keep saying it out loud, G. Drift to the right, keep saying it out loud, C. Keep drifting to the right, we're back into the corner. Make sure that you talk about that in your mind, that you articulate that. Then we have our F, two F's, and our one B flat. Okay, so practice that, get really good at that. You can also fold a piece of paper. I like to talk about this with my students. You can fold a piece of paper like this. So it's just folded in fourths. And you can just quick and dirty draw two bridges on it. And for me, I'm going to draw 5 marked courses. So it looks just like this. And then you can practice filling those in. So for me, I would do E. You could do it a lot of different ways. You could fill the 3 across the bottom if you wanted, E, A, D. Remember that? Eventually all Dulcimers. Or you could start E, then A, A, just like when we play them in the octave format. E, A, D, D, D. Eventually all Dulcimers, all Dulcimers, Dulcimers. What's next? Eventually all Dulcimers get. So our G's, G, G, G. So I'm filling them in the same way that I would play them. You can do it in a lot of different ways. Get what? What do they get? They get cold. C. Here's middle C right there. C, C, C. Then we're back into the corner with our 2 F's and our 1 B flat. So if I wanted to, then I could sort of draw out the corner. So I could have a visual. See, I made a right angle there. Even though it's not quite a right angle, I'm going to do the same thing here. Here's my other corner. Then I could draw my 3 D's, my 3 G's, and my 3 C's. So take a look at that. So practice doing that on paper, practice doing it on your dulcimer. Then, once you've done that, you can practice coming backwards. So we're going to start in this corner now with our B flat, moving to the 2 closest to the F's. Remember, you have to start in the corner. So this corner is the B flat and the F. So B flat, F's. Now we're going to drift to the left. We're on our C's. Now left hand goes where right hand is. Right hand is propelled down to the bass bridge, C. We drift to the left, G. And again, we're following that diagonal, G. Drift to the left, D. Following that diagonal, D. Drift to the left, A. We're back in the corner, E. Let's do that again. Starting on your B flat in the corner, in the upper right hand corner. B flat. Say it aloud with me. It's B flat and not B. Do it again. B flat. Now, a lot of people skip to the left side treble, but you've got to go to the closest marked courses, which, if you kind of just spread your hands, your left hand goes to the left, you hit that F first, the right hand goes down to the F as well. So we've got our B flat to our F's, drift to the left, you got it. Now we're on our C's, drift to the left, now we're on our G's, drift to the left, now we're on our D's. If you're on a smaller instrument, you would finish yours with the corner in the A, right? But with the larger instruments, we go D, D, going down the diagonal. Then we drift to the left again. Now we're back in our corner for the larger instruments, A and E. Now these are really helpful. Knowing these marked courses helps you know how your keys are laid out. So for example, the key of C up here, this has 0 sharps or flats. This is the key of C from C to C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I move it down instead of marked courses, key of G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Move it down again, key of D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Move it down again, key of D, key of A, my apologies. Key of A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. We can do the same thing for the bass bridge. Again, we're looking at these marked courses. They're the corners of our box scales. So we have the key of D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Key of G, 1 sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Key of C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Key of F with our 1 flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. So learning these marked courses makes it easier to know where your keys are and figure out what notes are in the key. Also, if you're taking lessons or in a workshop and the teacher says, I want you to start on the G on the right side treble. Well, if you don't know where that note is, that's going to be really stressful. Or let's say you only know where your bottom note is, and then you're thinking, okay, let's see, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G. And by that time, the teacher's already gone on. So if you know these marked courses, you will get right there, and it will be so much easier and less stressful for you. You'll learn more because you're not stressed out. You'll be more relaxed and more confident. So learn these marked courses. Take a look at the next video after you have this down cold. It's what I call the buddy notes, which are the notes just under the marked courses. All right, thanks for watching.